New Dragonmaid support. Is the deck top tier? Hello guys and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we're taking a look at the new Dragonmaid support, and I'm just gonna come right out and say it. No, the deck is not top tier, but don't click off the video because the deck is still pretty interesting. I actually do think that the deck overall is rather fun. Let me just explain real quick. If you don't know, Dragonmaid is an archetype centered around dragon maids that are in human form when they're maids and dragon forms, and how they switch in battle phase mostly in order to tag out from one dragon to the other. Or I should say one form to the other. All of the human forms are the lower level monsters, and all of them generate advantage in some capacity. Chamber Dragonmaid searches a spell trap, Parlor sends a card to the graveyard, and Kitchen searches and then discards a Dragonmaid monster. All of the larger dragons are mostly just larger dragons, with the ability to just have higher attack points. Some of them also do things, most notably Tinkek, which allows you to discard it at quick effect speed in order to boost a Dragonmaid monster, meaning you can, do some battle tricks, kind of like Honest and what have you. We have Lorepar, which allows you to discard it and basically Veiler a monster. It just turns off the monster's effects for the turn. And then, this is Chamber. I don't know how you would say this. I just call it Chamber, because it's the Chamber Dragonmaid equivalent, and it discards in order to special summon from Banish or Grave, which is all fairly good. Now, all of these are important for the new monster, which we'll get into later, but generally, that's how the deck works, and it centers around bouncing monsters back to the hand in order to facilitate additional effects, and just like simple graveyard manipulation, right? Like special summoning guys from grave and what have you. So we're playing 3 Hospitality as well, which just special summons a Dragonmaid monster from hand or grave, and then sends the equivalent monster to the graveyard. The equivalent being for Chamber, for Parlor, Lorepar, and for Tinkek, Kitchen. Also, all of those are word scrambles. I forget what they're called, but they're all just the same name. Right, so Dragonmaid Tinkek is Dragonmaid Kitchen, just reversed and flipped, or not flipped, but scrambled. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, we're also playing one changeover, which is just the fusion spell, but you can also bounce one of your dragon monsters or Dragonmaid monsters back to the hand in order to return it to the hand and use it multiple times, which is pretty nice. We're also playing 2 Tidying as search targets because it's a bounce for any dragon. You just bounce a guy. It's pretty solid. On top of that, you can banish it from the grave to reborn a Dragonmaid monster, which is again pretty nice. We also have ourselves the One Song in Kaimen, as it is a search for Dragonmaid Kitchen, which is also pretty solid. And we just kind of need as much consistency in those names as possible. We're also playing 3 Dark End Evaporation Dragon because it can just banish a dragon monster from the extra deck in order to special summon itself, and then it also has the ability to fusion summon from the extra deck using monsters on your hand or in your hand or field. So that means you can go into pretty much any of your Dragonmaid monsters because it is a level 8 or higher Dragonmaid, which means you can go into like Shio, you can go into House, etc. Right? So pretty solid. And that is it for the engine. The rest of the cards are non-engine, things like the Bestials, things like Fualos, Ash, Maxi, etc. As for the extra deck, we are playing 2 of the new Dragonmaid, Ladies Dragonmaid, because you can send it to the Banish zone with Dark End Evaporation. It's just like a solid thing to have in the graveyard, or into the Banish. But on top of that, it also has the ability to summon itself very easily by banishing the above material of 2 Dragonmaid monsters with the same attribute, but different levels. In order to special summon itself, you just have to banish the above, 1 from field and 1 from grave. This is why Kitchen becomes so useful. You can go normal summon Kitchen, add Tinkek, pitch Tinkek, and then that's a 1-card combo. So getting Kitchen is very good now. And what does this do? When it's special summoned, you can special summon another level 4, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid monster from your deck. On top of that, during the standby phase, you can fusion summon by shuffling the material from banishment or field into the deck, meaning you can go into a Shio off of just the 1 Kitchen. So you go Kitchen, you grab up the Tinkek, pitch, go into Lady then special summon something like Chamber can grab up Tidying, and then on top of that, Lady during the standby phase, it can search out the Shio, and then Shio can potentially summon back another thing. It's very useful. Shio, by the way, is a negate, just when your opponent activates a card, you negate it, you destroy it, you return this card, and then you special summon a house. So you do have to have a house in the extra deck because it is all sequential. So there you go. It's very interesting. Or I guess you don't have to have the negate, but you do have to be able to return it. I'm not entirely certain on that. Don't quote me on that, but regardless. We're also playing ourselves the new Philia Regis as another fusion target, because notably, Lady Dragonmaid also has the ability to fusion summon any dragon fusion monster, so that's why we're playing things like Borlode Furious, that's why we're playing Chaos, and that's why we're playing Philia. Philia is very solid. It's just a banish. It's pretty solid. You just target a card, banish it, and then you bounce a dragon monster to the hand. Notably, you can bounce itself, which is nice, but you could also bounce one of your chambers or parlors or something like that. So again, pretty solid. We're also playing 2 house. It's just like a target for Shio mostly. That's basically all that it's here for. It kind of does stuff, but realistically it doesn't. And then the rest of the extra deck is pretty simple as well. We're playing a Typhon, we're playing an Almirage for SP Little Knight purposes, we're also playing Striker Dragon, and then we're playing 2 Hieratic Seal. And that's pretty much it. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performed. Alrighty, so here we are going first, and this is a pretty solid hand. Hospitality, Chamber, Parlor, etc. Very solid. We're going to start off here with Hospitality, just to kind of bait out interaction, see if they have anything. We're going to go Chamber here, and we did end up dumping the other Chamber to the graveyard, and then we can grab it Changeover. My opponent is going to draw from here, and that's fine. We're just immediately going to go into our Lady. Lady effect is going to activate, and we are going to special summon from the deck the Parlor. Parlor is going to send a Tidying, so that we have additional follow-up. Here we can activate the Changeover in order to just go into Shio, and then we can activate the Changeover, or sorry, we can activate the Tidying here in order to special summon the Chamber. My opponent activates the Nibiru, which I will promptly negate and summon out the new house artwork. Yes, I did get lucky. I literally pulled no cards except for the new pack, which was pretty cool, and we ended up getting it, so pretty cool. We're gonna go for the Changeover here as well, and then make another Shio, which is, again, pretty solid. Now, it is a once per turn negate, so do keep that in mind, but alas, we can just make another one. We then normal summon it for a turn and make Seal. And at this point, we're doing pretty solid. So my opponent is going to go, or we're going to go to the standby phase. We're going to go Chamber here. Chamber is going to grab up the Hospitality. It's just additional follow-up. And now we're going to fusion summon it using the Lady in order to go into Philia. So we're looking pretty good, and then Dark Ruler just immediately invalidates that. That's why searching out the trap card is generally pretty good, and it's just like an additional thing you kind of want to do. It's why we're playing multiple ways to fusion summon, so there's that. My opponent is playing Sharks, so out comes Nash Knight. They're going to yoink a guy, and I'm like, that's fine. I just don't want them to yoink Seals, because I do want to get at least something off of that. So we're going to go Seal here. We're going to just activate it to get it off of the field, tributing itself, because now, since it's been tributed, we can then special summon a dragon from the deck, and we're going to summon out the Baldrake. My opponent realizes what Baldrake entails. If they go into the extra deck, I just get to deal with it. So they elect to just walk over the card there, and out comes the myriad of Xyz monsters. I don't care. I just glaze over at this point. Xyz are super boring to me, so I just... Wow, another guy, and then out comes Zeus. Okay, cool. Interesting. They also elect to activate the Zeus here and just nuke the field. I don't really understand this, but okay, sure. Anyway, not that big of a deal. I draw Fool Loss here, which will actually end up mattering here in a second. But we're going to go for the Hospitality here, and Chamber is going to search another card. Reminder that we did put back the other Chamber, the level 9 Chamber, into the deck with Lady earlier. So I'm going to grab Tidying here and then just make Zeus. Or make Typhon here. Typhon is going to just bounce the Zeus, and then we're going to go to combat, deal 29, and set this Tidying. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, my opponent is going to draw Baytuniful. They're going to go Baytuniful, and they're just going to get off to the races here. Basically, we're just hoping and praying that we don't die, and that we top deck pretty well. That's more or less what we're looking to do here. And, I mean, Typhon does help us not die, because most of their cards are just big. Like this guy, he's not going to be able to use its effect, and so because of that, we do basically get to survive here. So they're going to equip and just go to combat twice here. So lots of damage, but not dead, notably, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. They're going to go and grab Armored Z. They're going to go for the Crystal Shark here, and I don't know. They're just like attaching guys. This doesn't actually accomplish anything for them. So I don't know. I don't know why they ended on this. But I do draw Dark End Evaporation Dragon, which is actually not bad here. Because what we can do is we can banish, and then this has a secondary effect. I just told you the first effect because I wanted to surprise you. It actually does have a secondary effect where you target one other attack position monster on the field. This card loses 500 attack and defense, and then pops the monster. Pretty solid. It's like an additional thing that you can do. So I actually just get to destroy the card there and then go to combat and just deal with the field. Now, if they do something, we still have the Tidying, which we can use later. They didn't do anything, so I'm just going to use Tidying here so that on the following turn, we can banish Tidying and special summon our guy, which is pretty solid. So we're going to go for the Tidying here, and we're going to summon out the Chamber. Chamber effect is going to activate. They're going to activate the Ash, and I'm just going to allow that to resolve, because mainly we just wanted the guy on field so that we could change over. Now we're just going to normal summon here and then go into the Lady. Lady effect is going to summon out from deck the Kitchen. Kitchen is going to send the Tinkek to the graveyard. And then we're going to go for the changeover here. And yeah, out comes Shio. So now we just have Lethal. And we have the Negate as well. So, whew, wow, good game. Alright, here we are once again going first. And let's see. I mean, our hand is actually very similar. It's just instead of Chamber, we have Kitchen. Or yeah, pretty much. Anyway, my opponent ashes the Hospitality because for some reason you can ash this. Ash is a card. Anyway, that's fine. We are going to grab Chamber here and we're going to pitch the Parlor, and then we're going to special summon the Parlor by pitching Chamber. We're going to go and activate the effect of the Parlor to grab the Changeover, which bounces the Parlor, and now we can actually activate the Changeover. Changeover is going to allow us to go into the Shio, and from here we can also use the Kitchen and the Tinkek that we just drew in order to go into Lady here. So we're going to go for the Lady effect and special summon out the Chamber, and now we can activate the effect of the Chamber and grab up Tidying. This is generally what we want to end on, right? The most that we could do in addition to this is ending on a Seals, but that's not guaranteed. But this is generally what we want. We want Shio, we want Lady, and we want Tidying, and at least something else. Most notably the, like, just a monster to bounce, basically. So, there you go. Out comes we're going to activate the Shio effect in order to go for the Kitchen. Kitchen effect is going to grab up the Lorapar and just pitch the Lorapar. So, there you go. But now we can go during the standby phase and also go for our Philia. And this is why we want the other card. The Lady, so that we can go into Philia. Anyway, my opponent is going to reveal that they're on Crystal Beast, and they drew 2 Rainbow Bridge, which is very bad for us, because, yeah, now they just get 2 very powerful spells. Out comes Crystal Bond. I'm just going to allow them to do all of this, mostly because none of this actually does anything up until this point, so I'm mostly concerned about, like, actual powerful spells, and they summoned Ruby Carbuncle here for some reason. I have no idea why this is the summon. Okay. Even with the negated effect, it still seems strange, because wouldn't you want to put it into the back row? Why not summon the Amethyst Cat? I don't know. Seems kind of strange to me. Either way, they go for the Moon, and I'm like, no, that's not allowed. And then they activated the Awakening. Now, Awakening is a pretty powerful effect overall, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just not going to allow this to resolve, so I just Shio. We also did see that they picked up the other card that they picked up. The reason I'm doing this is because the other card that they picked up was the Golden Rule, which is an equip spell. And the way that equip, field, and continuous spells work is that they have to be on the field at the point of resolution to actually resolve. Meaning, unlike other spells that can be sent to the graveyard, if they've been activated and still have their effect resolve, all of those other spells don't work. So, I can just deal with it with Philia, which means I don't have to concern myself with the equip spell. So we're going to negate the Awakening, and I know one of the other cards in hand. I don't know the other one or the other 2. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to banish the Golden Rule and just kind of hope that this was enough. I believe they did normal summon the Sapphire Dragon or the Sapphire Pegasus. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this should be enough. I should have lethal here, and I think my opponent sees the writing on the wall and just concedes there. So there you go. Good game. Alrighty, so here we are going second, and I mean, we drew Magnemite against the Wind deck. Well, that's going to be very useful. Yeah, we're playing against Speedroid. Let's see what we can accomplish. My opponent is, by the way, normal Fool loss does actually help, because they could still go Rubber Band, which is crazy. Anyway, I did end up hitting the Tom board for them, but alas, out comes Clear Wing Synchro, and they're going to activate this, go into the Wolfrayet, which is a card. This card's very funny, by the way. Regardless. Out comes Glider. Glider effect is going to activate. It's going to reborn this guy, and then they're going to go into a 12, which is the most Yu-Gi-Oh card name, by the way. Crystal Clear Wing Over Synchro Dragon. Woof! What a mouthful. Now, we don't really have anything here, but we did draw Changeover, which is pretty good. We also have the Song and Kaiman, so I'm just going to see if they have anything. They have Purge. Uh-oh. Okay. We're going to start off here with the Changeover. They do negate it, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, because I can actually just normal Kitchen, and I elect not to activate the effect, because if I activate, the Wolfrayet has the ability to just immediately shuffle my monsters, which I cannot do. That's very, very bad. Not great. So I just elect not to activate the Kitchen there, and now we can just go for the Changeover at this point. We're going to go for the Changeover. We're going to use both of our, we're going to use one of our Dragonmaid monsters, and the... the Magnemite, and then just make Shio. Now Shio can just negate the Wolfrayet, because they also used the Wing Over. So there's that. Anyway, we're gonna go for the Kitchen now, with our Chamber level 9. So they activate the Wolfrayet, we're immediately going to negate it, obviously, right? So there's that. We just summon out our house. We're going to grab Tinkek. We're going to pitch Tinkek. We're going to then special summon out the Lady. Out comes Lady. We are going to activate the effect in order to summon out Chamber. Chamber effect is going to activate. We're going to grab Hospitality. Hospitality effect is going to activate. We're going to special summon out a guy. We're going to send another Chamber. And then we're going to link off into Seal. At this point, we're just going to go combat and walk over this guy, because we're actually going to make Typhon in main phase 2. We're going to go Typhon here, which deals ever so effortlessly with the Wing Over Dragon. So yeah, now we just have basically what we need. We're going to go for the Lady's Dragonmaid in standby. They're going to activate the Fuwa. I'm going to activate the Called By. We're going to shuffle back 2 in order to go into the Shio. Now, there's not really like a better option, right, under Typhon. It's still Shio, even though, like, I mean, I could have made, like, Philia or something, but there's not really like a good option in that standby phase to go for. So we just go for Shio. It's the biggest monster, right? So not terrible. My opponent doesn't have anything, so we just flip everything to attack position and walk in for well over lethal. So good game. All right, we're back with the deck, and honestly, one of the best things about this deck is that it fills that niche of mid-range style gameplay. Too bad it's terrible. Yeah, this deck is not great. It's very weak and susceptible to pretty much any hand trap under the sun. It also is very susceptible to just having, like, dead hands, right? Because of the way that Hospitality works and the way that a lot of the other cards work in this deck. They really are, like, a 2-card combo, and you need to see very specific cards, right? Theoretically, you could play more Dragonmaids, right? However, with every new Dragonmaid you add, you also have to add another brick in the other big dragon. So theoretically you could play more. Realistically, you don't want to play more, because if you were to play, say, for example, Laundry or Nurse, or actually those are the only other two, you also have to add another card that's just useless. And on top of that, these don't actually do anything by themselves. They are just not capable of that 1-card combo, or even like 1.5 card combos. So it oftentimes isn't really worth it. Like, theoretically, Laundry could do something, right, because of the fact that you could mill something like Nudjarl or something else of that nature, but for the most part, you're not really going to be using any of those other cards, right? So it's better to have either a secondary engine, or to have just Prey. You know, as you can see, like, I'm playing a lot of hand traps in order to fill in those gaps, right? And for the most part, it seemed to work pretty well. It's not insane, but, like, it worked, right? Having the Fualosses and the Nibirus and Imperms and all of that stuff, at the very least, allowed me to at least stifle my opponent's turn, and then hope to top deck better, right? So there's that. But overall, I do like the simplified game state that this deck provides, right? It's like, okay, here's a negate, here's a banish. That's kind of it. It's not great, again, but it's something, and it's fun, and I wish decks like this were a little bit better. That simple combo, the more streamlined gameplay. That like mid-range style of deck is very fun. And yeah, I don't know. It's a fun deck, but that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like us very much, so appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.